Hello and welcome back to the first church at Springfield build. Actually messed up a bit while trying to do the inside, while recording it anyway, and made it quite long, and felt like it was easier to just do the inside of what I've done already and then make the video about it. As you can see, I've double layered just this wall, and then I've used the square from the top of the roof as the actual frame for where the offices should be. I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna do with the floor. Obviously I've chucked them 2 steps in to bring it back down to ground level, sorry. And I'm just gonna chuck in some red wool, and that's what I'm gonna do for all the floors, unless maybe the offices might be different. I haven't really seen any pictures of the offices. More concentrating on just trying to get the church done. So literally I'm just chucking in red wool. Instead of having glowstones hanging around, you can always chuck them in the floor and then chuck red carpet over the top, which means then in effect you have to layer the whole floor in carpet. Anywhere that doesn't need a decoration or a block on it can then have carpet if you need something on that block, because the carpet will take up a full block. So if you need something on it, you're gonna have to build on it and then layer what isn't used with carpet. So as you can see, that's still letting the light. You can see where it was darker before I put the carpet on. I'm just going to chuck some more in as I go down this channel, and I'll talk you over what I've done in here as we go along. So working on the effect that I'm actually going to use carpet, you don't actually have to use the wall like I've done. You could just put it straight on top of the grass if you wanted, as long as you do the rest of the work around it to get that done. I would recommend using a lot of glowstones. Basically you could put carpet, just use glowstone all the way through, instead of using the red wool, and then use red carpet go over the top like I'm doing here, because once you've put a couple of layers down, you really have to layer it all, otherwise you're going to end up with squares looking very odd. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck some more glowstones in. But as you can see, I've got a gap of 2 where I've got the 2 blocks of red wool, and then the frame of the wood, and then I've got a gap of 3 running across the side. And basically, the way I got this channel in the middle is to line it up with the windows, the main window at the very front of the building, at the back of the building, sorry. But the front as if you're looking down into the church. And all I done was come 1 block outside of it, so it's free on its own. So if you go 1 block either side of where that window is, you'll end up with a gap of 5. As you can see here, I've put in wood running down, which would then be the 6th and the 7th block of that gap. So once you've got your 5 channeled all the way through the middle, you can then leave a gap of 2 at the end. And like you can see here, I've done my benches out of stair and signs. I've just used white stained clay just to do 2 rows in front of them. And then I've used the wood. And just for another idea, you can use an item frame instead of a sign, depending on what you prefer, how it looks. So basically what I do is, I've got my gap of 2 with the red wool. Then I've got my line of dark oak, and then I've got my bench, which is stairs and either a sign or item frame, whichever one you prefer. Then you've got 2 rows of white stained clay, then a bench, and so on until you end up coming down to the front where you have another gap of 2. Now for this podium, as you can see, it's just normal blocks, just gone round round all of it, and there's just a stair and a slab on the top just to create the look that is there, and basically all I do is just run around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and layer it up to a second level, and then I just put the stair there so you can stand on top and look over. All of this that you're looking at there is all red wool, and if you look where I've put the oak planks for 1 block all the way across, now this is me just running across backwards where I've been in the window and just lining out my channel. But if you look at the front as we come back to it now, I've done 1 row of blocks there. Now all I've done is matched it to the line where it actually has the outer side of the building again. So where my walls are, I just line it up, do a row of oak planks and then red wool all the way behind it, which obviously you want to light it up with glowstones and then layer it with carpet. 2 loads of stairs on either side. Like you can see on there, I've got a gap of 3 on each side from where I do my benches. So you have your 5 in the middle and then you have 3 on either side. I've got 3 on the front there and a gap of 2 right at the back. So once you've worked out you've got your 5, you can then just sit 3 in front of where I've done the wood here, and I'm just chucking in a couple of stairs on the other side. So as long as you've got this gap of 3 here, you can just pretty much just do a massive frame of the wood, just go all the way around. If you're not bothered about the grass, you could just start chucking in the benches and do like I done, just turf out the 2 rows behind and in front. So you end up with the white clay and then your benches. So not a lot of hard work to it, quite easily done. It was just purely the video I was making to do it ended up quite long, and like you see where I've channeled it from the 5 in the middle, that's how I've got my arch coming from the wall, so I knew to leave the doorway in them 5 spaces. I'm not going to put doors in because I thought it would be better just to look straight into the church. Just going to chuck a couple of flower pots either side of the podium and just stick them there just to try and in-keep it a little bit more. Like you see here, I've literally used the 5 gap to then create that arch, going 1 block up at a time. And that is pretty much everything. Or at least I think I've covered everything. If you do have any questions, just chuck it in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But like I say, put them glowstones underneath and get them carpets on top, because it will let in so much light and it looks so much better than having all the glowstone around. I need to now clear out. I'll leave the ones around the top of the windows just purely because I like a light to show outside of the building. But apart from that, thanks for watching guys.